Hey, what's going on, guys? Back again with another one, talking about health, wealth, happiness, success, getting money, getting rich, getting wealthy, all the good things in life. And I'm back with another one, right? So shout out to Mediocre Tutorial Reviews, right? MTR. He just put out a video. That brother's over there in Thailand right now, and he just put out a video saying that America's a scam, or the American dream is a scam. And I want to give a little pushback on the American dream being a scam, because the American dream is not a scam the way people just throw that word out there, right? They just say, oh, the dream is a scam. It's not a scam. He also talked about how the whole working a regular job it's a new concept, which it is. It started in the 1880s during the Industrial Revolution. That's when everybody left their small towns, working in the fields, on farms and stuff like that, working with their families, and everybody rushed into the city to go be work in the manufacturing industry, in the plants, in the factories, in the steel mills, putting up skyscrapers and getting into the oil industry and stuff like that. But the American dream, right? The whole getting a house, having a family, white picket fence, having kids, maybe you get your 2-car garage, and that whole thing in itself is not a scam. It's just not achievable today by normal standards, right? And so the scam part of it, right? Or I wouldn't even really call it a scam, but the part that everybody gets confused is that whole American dream, the white picket fence, the family, the 2 kids, the dog, that is still being pushed by politicians, by boomers, by Gen X. People are still telling these young kids to just go to school and to just get a degree, and it doesn't matter what degree you get. And it's just like, no, like that is the scam. It's not that the American dream was a scam, because it wasn't a scam. It did work, right? You could go to a job and get a job for 30 years and get a pension and get a retirement and know you were going to be able to afford a house, which was going to let a lot of men be able to get a wife and have kids and support their family. That wasn't a scam. That actually worked. But that dream today, it is dead. It is practically dying. You can't just go get a job for 30 years and be safe. People understand that there's no job safety anymore. People understand that you can't just go to school and get whatever degree you want and whatever BS nonsense you want. That doesn't work. And so, again, it's not that the American dream is a scam per se. It's just a lot of these people are still pushing it on this younger generation, and that is where it gets my blood kind of boiling, right? To just tell a kid to just go to school for whatever. And again, there are still pockets and there's still ways to do this American dream per se, if you will. It's just going to require a lot more planning, right? Let's just say you wanted to go to school. Okay, can we go into the military for 4 years? Well, I don't want to go into the military. Okay, but here's the plan. We're going to go into the military. We're going to go to school for free for 4 years, get our degree, and get the heck out of there. That's the plan the whole way. I know you don't want to be there, but they're going to pay you while you're in there. You're going to school for free, and then we're going to get the heck out. That's the plan. Or, hey, how about you tell your kids to stay in the house, go to community college, so they can get all their core classes knocked out, and then they can transfer their credits to a state school. Well, I don't want to go to a state school. I want to go to this school. Well, the only point of these higher education schools, like a Harvard, like a Princeton, like a Yale, is for networking. So if you're not getting accepted into those schools, these lower tier schools, it doesn't really matter what school you're getting the degree from in the end. You just want to try to get it as cheap as possible, so that way you're not stuck with $50, $60, $70, $80,000 worth of student loan debt as you're trying to climb your corporate ladder. And going back to that as well, that is dying, right? The corporate ladder, the corporate world, because you can't really just get a job and just work there for 30 years and know the job has your back, know the job is going to give you a pension, know the job comes with health benefits, know the job comes with all of this time off, vacation time. Because that is dying, people are no longer trying to sign up for that. It is kind of crazy how, again, it's still being pushed by the boomers, by the Gen X. Hey, just go work for X amount of years and get, and then you'll get Social Security or you'll get some benefits over here. And it's just all like, but there's no job security today. So, again, when it comes to this American dream being a scam, the American dream isn't a scam. You just have to plan and, make a precise plan for what you want to do. What kind of life do I want to live, and how can I get there as fast as possible for as cheap as possible? And there's still ways to do that. Now, I will say the number one hack that you can do, because again, the American dream is not a scam, but it is practically dead at this point, would be to figure out how to make $2,000 to $5,000 a month online and get the heck out of the United States. That's the easiest way to beat the game. That's the easiest way to hack the system. And people may sit there and say, well, that's a lot easier said than done. Well, this is where, again, you need to go inward, have a plan, get in touch with yourself. Hey, what am I good at? What skills do I have? How am I valuable? How can I become more valuable to human beings? And then how can I leverage that online? What can I do? What can I sell? What courses can I try to sell? Or, how do I help more people who are going to want to buy things from me to where I can take this online? I can take my skills, my time, and my talents online. But yeah, man, again, the American dream was never a scam. It did work, but it just doesn't work today. And again, the thing that boils my blood is that the boomers and the Gen Xers are still trying to push the American dream, and they're just pushing it just to push it, right? They're not even sitting there telling their kids or telling young adults, hey, let's be smart about this. Let's do this as efficiently as possible. Right? Like, hey, maybe we might want to get into a trade school. Then we can start making money faster. Now that you're in a trade school, maybe that takes you a couple months to get through. Now you're a plumber, now you're an electrician, now you're working HVAC, you're making 60, 70, 80K a year. Now, hey, we can go back now and take the college courses. We can pay our way through college. So now we don't have to, take out crazy amounts of student loan debt, which just has people starting in the negative. Yeah, that is my number one thing when it comes to what's going on in America today, is that nobody's awake. Nobody's telling this younger generation how to hack the system, how to beat the system, how to get through it as efficiently as possible. That's where I feel like majority of people have failed the younger generation. It's not that the American dream is a scam. It's just, it's not achievable like it used to be. And, you can still attain some of it if you want that, or you can just skip it completely, figure out how to make a couple $1,000s online. Of course, obviously, you would want to make more, and then jump ship and jump into another country like Panama, Peru, somewhere down south, Thailand, Philippines, and just do it that way. But again, man, the American dream, it was never a scam. It did work. It just doesn't work today. While this older generation is still trying to push it on the younger generation. Because even me, myself, right, I'm a millennial. I was born in the 80s, and I look at the people above me, right, the Gen Xers, who are like, 50, 55, 60, and they're still working. And I'm like, what? Like, who's doing that? Who wants to work for 40 years and then, punch out at, in their late 50s, early 60s? And when I mean punch out, I mean just retire, right? I'm not trying to wait till I'm 60 years old to retire. I'm trying to do stuff now. I want to go live now, right? But again, the American dream is not a scam. It's just not attainable today, while the older generations keep pushing it today. But yeah, man, try to figure out how you can leverage your skills that you have right now, your skills and talents, how you become more valuable to more human beings, and how can you put that online. And if you're a younger person, if you're trying to go to college, if that's what you want to do, I didn't go to college. I have no desire to go to college. I think it's a waste of time personally. But if that's something you want to do, how can we do that as efficiently as possible? Can we stay at home? Can we work through college, right? It may take a few, a little bit longer, but hey, let me just take a few classes over here and I'm working at the same time so I can pay my way through. Because I'm telling you, you don't want to be one of these kids who get your degree and now you're like, oh man, sweet, now I'm an adult, now I'm working, now I can go live. And it's just like, wait a minute, you have this $60,000 worth of student loans in your backpack, or on that in that invisible backpack on your back, and it's harder to get through life now. It's like, how are you going to be able to, buy a house or do things, or, go and date or try to get into a relationship, and you have all of this debt that you got to pay back? How are you supposed to invest in stocks and crypto and real estate and try to really maximize your money to get ahead if you're already back? You know what I'm saying? You got all that student loan debt on you. So again, it doesn't matter what you want to do in this world, what you want to do in America. You have to have a plan, and you have to make it as efficient as possible. That's the only way you're going to squeak through the cracks today. Because if you're just following the regular Gen X and Boomer advice, you're going to be underwater. Looking at this water, you're going to be underwater pretty quickly in today's market. So yeah, man, I'm telling you, like, again, I hate the doom and boomers and the people that come on here and just sit there and say, it's all over with, just give up now. No, I don't want to. I hate that. I hate that mindset. I'm an optimist. That's what I always do. I always try to look at the positive in things. I always try to figure out solutions, and instead of just constantly complaining about the problems. You can still make it today. You just got to have a solid plan, and you just have to execute it as efficiently as possible. Again, going back to that, the example I said about the military. A lot of people, I talked to a lot of younger people today about joining the military. I'm like, hey, make it a plan. Go into the military, get your degree, get the hell out of there. Like, that's the plan from day one. As soon as you join that thing, you're not doing it because, of whatever other reasons you don't want to do it, right? Military, the uniform, all that, the discipline and everything like that. But we're doing it for the degree. Always have that in your mind. We're doing it for this. Or whatever you're doing in life, always understand why you're doing it. And get to where you want to go as efficiently as possible. If your parents allow you to stay in the house while you're, going to work a job, or paying off your student loan debt, or, going to school so you don't have to take out student loan debt, figure out what the plan is, where you want to go. You'd be surprised how many people don't even think about where they want to go in life. But have a plan and execute it as efficiently as possible. And, be consistent and determined to get to where you want to go. Never let anybody move you off of that goal, right? Or that mission, or whatever you're trying to accomplish. Now, maybe you might need to tell your friends, hey, I got to sit down for a couple years. I'm trying to accomplish X, Y, and Z. You can't be chasing women. Whatever it takes to get to where you need to go, that's how you have to do it in today's economy, in today's world, in America today. So, yeah, man, I'm going to go ahead and leave that one there with y'all today. Something to think about. Hope y'all having a good one. It's kind of windy out here, but the weather is beautiful. Anyway, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're still here. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.